I want you to be prepared when you go to the polls, so I've got info on yet another question for you.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeout Comfort Solutions.
I mean, look, I'm busy, okay? I want to get into the precinct. I want to be able to vote. I want to get out. I don't want to sit there as you, what is this question? This is what happens. Are you insulted by that? Well, then you should be. If you're not insulted by that and you're laughing, you know who I'm talking about. The people who show up at the polls, you go, oh, what is this question? Question 5 tonight. Should we be borrowing $70 million for port economic development? And the president of the Rhode Island Ports Coalition, Gavin Black, is here to tell us we absolutely should. Good evening. Nice to have you aboard at 7:30. You're seeing this on time. I don't know what time you're catching this at midnight, depending on how many pitchers they went to the pen for on Fox for the World Series. But you know what's really funny? People just keep staying up late, and the game's late. You got to get your Dan Yorke fix, supposedly, and that's a good thing. Thank you. Let's go to the rundown and check some things out here. Dark polls. The dark candidate now calls them dark polls. I've never heard that term before. Headlines. Okay, election law doesn't care if Trump ever concedes. I'm not exactly sure why election law would, but Trump concedes that he's somewhat behind in the polls. It's a very erratic roller coaster ride with the Donald by the 5-minute interval, of course. Latest from CBS.
Donald Trump touted the diversity of his employees outside of his Doral golf course in Florida Tuesday morning.
80% of them are Hispanic, right?
This is Trump's 3rd straight day in the state, and early voting is already underway.
The polls are packed, and nobody knows how they're voting, but they all seem to have Trump stickers and Trump hats and Trump pins and Trump shirts.
Roughly 57% of Florida's vote is expected to come from early voting, and 1.2 million ballots have already been cast. Trump needs Florida's 29 electoral votes if he wants to win the White House. But to get there, he needs to win back Republican holdouts.
He's still got this 20% of Republicans. I've called them the reluctant Republicans, largely women, largely suburban women.
Hillary Clinton is calling for civility in making her pitch to those reluctant Republicans.
We've got to get back to listening respectfully. We can disagree without being disagreeable.
But Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, campaigning with Clinton, attacked Trump in New Hampshire Monday.
He thinks that because he has a mouthful of Tic Tacs, that he can force himself on any woman within groping distance. Well, I got news for you, Donald Trump. Women have had it with guys like you.
Clinton will also be campaigning in Florida this afternoon. The latest CBS News poll shows her with a 3-point lead over Trump in the state.
You know what's interesting? The only person that can make me feel empathetic for Donald Trump is Elizabeth Warren. I mean, you want to talk about shrill. Now, Hillary's talking about getting along, and she's doing the tic-tac routine. I don't know. And by the way, you know, Hillary can't feel incredibly comfortable while we're going over the groping crisis, right, for Donald Trump, while her husband was, well, we all know that. So, you know, the lines of morality and ethics just zig and zag all through this election, no doubt. Today, by the way, in front of that group, Donald Trump was lamenting the 22% increase in Obamacare premiums projected nationally for next year. And he said, you know, most of my employees are having real trouble with Obamacare. The hotel management that he owns had to remind Donald afterwards that 90+% of his employees are on his own insurance policy. Why would the details matter? The Republican nominee. Speaking of Elizabeth Warren, her potential next appointment is the famous Curt Schilling, who's done a really good job of making us forget what kind of a hero we thought he was when he played for the Boston Red Sox. Headlines back to back to back to back. He joins Breitbart, and that's Steve Bannon, who's now the chair of the Trump campaign and right-wing semi-lunatic. The bloody sock headlines always come in when it is a Boston or Washington Post coverage. Schilling, Elizabeth Warren, his target, no doubt. By the way, this radio show, just wanted to mention, we have audio or video of his radio show last week, right, when he was on WPRO. Yeah, so Curt Schilling ended up being on WPRO last week for 3 hours on the John DePietro program, and a lot of us were scratching our heads as to why he kind of laid on the radio psychology couch for that 3-hour period of time. Now maybe you've put some concepts together. 3 hours on the radio, a little warm-up. Now he's got a Breitbart online radio program. He'd love to be cleared on terrestrial radio, as we call it, like the one you tune in, the old-fashioned radio. You always have to think past the motives for public personas. It's not always the way you perceive it. In the meantime, a provocative endorsement, no doubt, in the political scene here in Rhode Island. Headline today in the Providence Journal, Doherty endorses Mattiello re-election. I find this kind of fascinating. Brendan Doherty, the former superintendent of the Rhode Island State Police and Republican congressional candidate a little while back, now, according to the story, South Kingstown Democrat. Used to be a Cumberland Republican. He's now a South Kingstown Democrat. I think that's a little bit of election and state house video. We kind of skipped, and we did our best to give you a picture of Nick Mattiello, who's the House Speaker, and the guy that Brendan Doherty is endorsing. In this story, not only is it noted that Brendan is a Democrat, there's the Speaker, not only do we see that he's a Democrat from South Kingstown, it's also noted that Mr. Doherty might suggest that he could be a potential 2018 statewide candidate. Interesting. Democrat, statewide candidate. We have a Democrat incumbent governor, unless she jumps ship and goes to Washington. I always thought Brendan Doherty would be a better gubernatorial candidate and governor than a congressperson, so stay tuned on that one. And then there's this silly thing. The headline, youth football, big in the news right now, and we got to run this story because it's very dramatic.
Spotted among the 13 and 14-year-old players of the Capital City Buccaneers at Sunday's Rhode Island Preteen Football League game, a 19-year-old man.
I'm embarrassed. I feel disrespected. I feel there's no words that can explain how I feel.
Team founder Alexandra Diaz says she's extremely upset the Buccaneers' reputation has been marred by what she says was a mistake by a coach.
He was not thinking, and that's all he could tell me. That's all he could tell me, that he was not thinking.
That coach has been fired and the varsity team stripped of the remainder of their season. Men not wanting to use their names but identifying themselves as the coach and the 19-year-old in question tell Eyewitness News over the phone they are deeply sorry for their actions. The man identifying himself as the coach says his ego got in the way. Sick of losing, he saw the older teen suited up to play and sent him onto the field. Now both say they're remorseful.
We all failed. If one goes down, we all fail as a community. And that's what I'm teaching them. So we all lost our season for this.
She is a very empathetic figure, speaking of empathy. In fact, sympathetic, I think. Very emotional. Obviously, when she's the founder of the football team, and it means a lot to her to have the kids, a lot of inner city kids, by the way, have a chance to recreate and to learn the game. But I just don't see why this is such a big deal. I really don't. One guy loses his mind, you pop him. The kid was in for 2 or 3 plays, or the bearded 18-year-old was in for 2 or 3 plays, 19 years old, whatever. It is like an anomaly. So you fire the coach and you move on. They got beat anyway. So the league has thrown this team out of the league now, and I can't imagine that this would be something that I'd want to dig into. But now I want to know why so much penalty for so little. It's not like the kid played a quarter and hurt 6 guys. I don't know. She's very upset. She's upset enough for me to want to put her back in the league. We're going to follow up, both on radio and on television. In the meantime, speaking of sports, it really is a baseball family as we embark upon the World Series. So much at stake for the city of Chicago. I used to feel real sorry for Cleveland all the time, but then they won the NBA championship, and so I don't feel so bad anymore for them. But if you take a look at it, Red Sox Nation, you're going to have a lot to watch, because the Cleveland manager, no stranger to you, used to work for who else but the Cubs general manager, and Terry Francona spoke about it.
Theo had the guts to hire me up there when, I didn't have a ton of resume, and they were expected to win, and he believed in me. And we went 8 years of a lot of good baseball.
I really want to see the Cubbies win this thing. That city needs it. Did you see how excited they were and how invested they were in the pennants? Man, the World Series might put them right over the top, but they deserve it. By the way, Lester, MVP with the Cubs on the National League, and Miller played for the Paw Sox, MVP with the Indians. So at least you got a little bit of your Sox Nation fix watching that tonight. In the meantime, let's get to business. Question 5. Here's the headline that indicates really the basic issue. And Gavin Black is here to say, yes, we should borrow $70 million, correct?
That's absolutely correct, Dan. Support our proven winners in our ports in Providence and Quonset.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Give me a little bit of a 30-second why you're involved in this. You are the president of Moran Shipping. That's been around for a long, long time, family business, and obviously the port means a lot to your company, correct?
Correct. So I think my uncle would kill me if I said I was president of Moran Shipping. I'm general counsel. It's a closely held family business. I am part of that family. My uncle James Black and my father Michael Black are president and CEO respectively.
Well, listen, this show's got a lot of juice, and if we want to promote you, we just promote you.
Yeah, that's great. So I love that idea. It's been a long time coming.
Apologize for that. Well, general counsel is significant, and I'm guessing that in your role, there's a lot of transactional stuff that you've got to oversee and understand, and so you get the currency of what the port provides, not only for you, but for the economy.
So Moran Shipping is the largest U.S. operated steamship agency in the country. So we have offices from Bangor, Maine, all the way to San Francisco, California.
Wow.
And that gives us a really good perspective on what cargo interests ship owners and charterers really look at in terms of what makes a port attractive.
All right, when we come back, we're going to take a look at why Quonset needs 50, Providence Port needs 20, what it'll do, and what the arguments are against. Stay with us. In the meantime, I'm going to go over here because I forgot I had to tell you about renovating your kitchen and bath, but Steve made a good recovery. And you will too. When you hire, come to the Kitchen and Bath Design Center, as I did, because I can promise you a couple of things. A, the project will be on time. B, it'll be on budget. And as a bonus, you're going to love their work. Look at CumberlandKitchen.com and get some confidence about their before and after photos, and then pick up the horn and have what they call a free measure. A representative, a designer will come see you in your home and start the plans. Be a good idea. And hurry if you want to get it done for the holidays. Be right back.
30 years ago, we were unloading 30,000 cars here. We're up to 250,000 cars. We put a lot of middle-class Rhode Islanders, good people to work. In some cases, third and fourth generations of families that have earned a living on the docks. If we can't put a vessel on Pier 2, it's taken away 50% of their work. In order to maintain what we've got, we need the infrastructure working properly.
I'm still not certain that most Rhode Islanders really know what kind of thriving economics we have at Quonset, and very little understanding about how much activity we have in our ports.
Right, so I'm happy to share with you that Quonset has had 5 consecutive record-breaking years down there in Davisville. It is a world-class continental top 10 auto import facility. So that is something that puts us on the map globally with cargo interests. Up at Provport, we have one of only 2 deep water ports in New England, the other being Boston. So our ports are uniquely valuable assets and highly productive engines to our state's economy.
So you, as general counsel for the private interest, Moran, and president of the Rhode Island Ports Coalition, have a perspective both for your company and for your industry.
That's correct.
And so is your company contributed to this coalition to form this advocacy group,
Right, so
along with the others that have done so?
This group has been a long time coming conceptually among port leaders in the shipping community, but it was put together in earnest over the summer this past July in order to advocate for Question 5.
Is there a nervousness?
No, generally speaking, when I've been out on the campaign trail, so to speak, people understand the value of our ports, and that was one of the real silver linings of the recent economic downturn and how hard it hit Rhode Island, was that we finally began to realize that we have high-paying, blue-collar, reliable jobs in our commercial waterfront. And so the word has gotten out there and rippled into the shipping community that we're serious for business.
At the end of the General Assembly session, the 50 mil for Quonset was married with 20 mil for the Providence Port, and that caused a little bit of ruckus amidst the Republican members of the General Assembly. Yet they, as they often do, I think, had a one night's moment of aggravation. It doesn't seem like there's much formal, organized opposition to the question.
No, that's something that probably could have worked a little better. But where we are now, focusing on the merits, we landed in the right place. And Quonset with Steve King down there, who I know pretty well. He's a world-class, leader in the port community, and he had a plan A, B, C, and D. So everything worked out really well.
What is it that you perceive, and your organization perceives, and those who support this question perceive, to be the where we are to where we're going factor in both Quonset and in Providence? Each give me one at a time. So what happens?
Right. So up in Providence, which is primarily a bulk cargo port,
meaning
that they ship in vessels that carry things in bulk like salt and cement and sand and scrap and coal, and so it's perfectly complementary.
The messy stuff.
It's perfectly complementary to Davisville's operation, which is perfectly suited to ro-ros and certain other project cargo, heavy cargoes like windmill turbines, which we just did recently, and lumber and other like high-value, high-tech cargo.
So where's the deficiency right now? I mean, obviously, it makes common sense to say you've got to upgrade your infrastructure because this stuff is heavy, equipment breaks down,
right.
But is there something significant about what these monies will do to take the actual dynamics of those two ports to another level?
Absolutely. So what we risk if we don't invest in our already successful ports is falling behind our competition. States, Connecticut, neighboring states in Connecticut and Massachusetts are investing hundreds of millions of dollars in their port. So what will it specifically do? Down in Quonset, we have Pier 1, which is on pilings, and then we have Pier 2, which is actually a wharf and built on solid land. It has amazing shoreside capacity, but it was built in 1956 to last 50 years. So although I'm not a structural engineer, I know that it needs to be modernized, and this project and this program will allow for a third berth to be put at Pier 2 so that we can discharge even more cargo simultaneously. Up in Provport, we're bursting at the seams. They've been very successful up there in Provport, and they need more space in order to attract more tenants to the property.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk about the economics of this. What does it actually mean to the state's economy? And then there's the age-old opposition, which is we borrow too much in this state. Stay with us.
Everybody here is a family man. I want to give my children better than what I had. There is a way to do that here. This is a great, not only economic driver, but it presents stability because the port's not going to go anywhere. This is where jobs stay. You're not only going to find people here who want better, but they want better for themselves as well as others. Provport has been successful, but we're out of space. We need to expand to grow the jobs.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I have to tell you, when you go down to Quonset, I mean, I've spent a little time at the Providence port. When you go down to Quonset, you almost feel, just because you've gone down, what is it, 402 or 403? I'm a Rhode Islander now. I can't remember road names, right? 403. You go down there, all of a sudden you feel like you almost went into you're in a different place.
Yes.
It's a different, and I don't think enough folks really understand how much economic activity is going on down there, and how impressive just this cargo activity can be.
Right.
So we've big ships, big stuff, big commerce.
The ports have proven themselves. They're already thriving.
What does it mean economically? What's the projection? Is this holding on to what we have, or is this a growth idea?
This is both. This is holding on to what we have so we don't slip behind our competition, and this is also an opportunity to capture future growth opportunities. So one of the things that makes a port attractive is its shoreside cargo capacity, and that's what distinguishes Quonset from so many of the competing ports for the auto cargo capture, for example, in Baltimore.
Which you're involved with the company.
That's right. Our company handles all the ro-ros that come in down in Quonset, so we've seen firsthand the growth in the past 20 years from a sleepy little Rhode Island port into a top 10 continental auto import business.
Some would say, okay, listen, this guy seems like a really good guy. His company's been around for nearly a century. Congratulations to them. But they're benefiting from our taxpayer investment into infrastructure and the philosophy. And by the way, I'm predicting some of the statement by who's coming in? Mike Stenhouse from the Center for what? Prosperity and whatever like that. And he's going to tell me that questions 4 through 7 collectively are stinkers because we're borrowing money. That comes up on Thursday night, I think. So in preview and or response to that, your response is what?
So it's much more than just borrowing money. This is an investment in something that's already proven itself to be successful.
But your company, your private interests are dependent on this investment. Your profit is dependent on this investment.
Right. Indirectly, a small portion of our profit is dependent on this investment. But I'm not alone, so I can give you a snapshot of like what a port call looks like and who's involved for the state.
Sure.
So we'll engage a foreign ship owner who could be half a world away, and we'll stand in that ship owner's or charterer's shoes as agent. We'll start communicating with the captain as it comes from its load port, mostly an international port of origin. Each day the captain will say to us, coming in, this is what we're going to need when we come into port. We'll engage that vessel physically when it comes to the Brenton Reef Pilot Station, which is just about 12 miles south of Newport. The world-class Northeast pilots will board that vessel. That's one marine professional organization that's involved in every port call. That vessel will then engage tugboats as it's brought into the dock, no matter where it goes. That's McAllister Towing. That's another great company that benefits from a port call. And this is before the ship even ties up. Once it ties up, lines are caught by either union line handlers or Rhode Island companies that handle lines and tie the ship up to the berth. And that's when the real economic benefits start. I know firsthand from handling these vessels as the general contractor of the port call that they need trips to the doctor, they need trips to the dentist, those are taxi rides, those benefit the local doctor and dentist, they need trips to the pharmacy. They all go shopping because they can get all of their goods here in the United States so much cheaper than they could get them anywhere else. So every one of those crew members wants to go to Walmart.
So it's a well camouflaged tourist economy.
You have walking tourism, you have welders that need to come on and repair the vessel, you have food providers that need to provide food for the vessel.
Tell me, listen, makes sense to me. Tell me, is there another port in America, substantial, up and down the East Coast, that doesn't have taxpayer infrastructure investments?
All ports rely to a certain extent on taxpayer infrastructure, and it's more than
None of them are solely supported financially by
It's mostly a
private
municipal-private partnership like we have here, where the public piece is to lay the foundation, make the properties pad ready, like up in Proudport, and then the private investment comes.
Some of the voters are a little tentative about anything that says public-private partnership. This 38 Studios thing has them a little whacked. You see any comparisons?
I don't. I really like to distinguish that, because with 38 Studios, I feel like we may have had stars in our eyes because it was Kurt Schilling, or we were taking a shot because the economy was in such a bad place. But with ports, we have such a rich maritime heritage here in Rhode Island that goes back over 200 years. We know ports. We have world-class marine professionals, service providers, tradesmen, the War College. Roger Williams University School of Law has a maritime concentration. The University of Rhode Island has a world-class oceanography institute. So we know ports. So this is backing a proven winner, something that's core to our heritage.
My guess is that most of the voters will try to figure this out. If you've soaked in this conversation, spread the word. Because the one thing that is a liability for anybody that's looking for a question to be approved is that people understand what the arguments are.
Absolutely. So I'm very happy to have the opportunity to come here and discuss that with you.
All right. Well, good luck with this. Appreciate your participation. That's question 5 as we mow them down. By the way, coming up tomorrow night, correct, we'll have the no on question 1 people from Tiverton who say, you know what, this isn't all it's cracked up to be, which is fine. We'd also like to have the folks who support question 1, to come on in here and tell us why we ought to grow the casino business to Tiverton. Of course, the question 1 people fail to understand that it's important to tell you why, because we haven't booked them and they're not coming. Isn't that great? Be right back. Again, Thursday, we'll have the no on 4, 5, 6, and 7 argument. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you again on the Casino Issue tomorrow and on the radio at 3 on WPRL. Thanks for watching. Good night.